I've got this stand I use on my saw, and it helps when you're cutting some wood and stuff, and I was thinking it might work as a camera stand. Like the footprint here is 18 inches. It's got a cast iron bottom here, so it's got some good weight to it, but it's not too heavy to move around. I don't need casters for it. I can just pick it up quite easily. Yeah, I think it should work. Let's see, can we take this thing apart? Yeah, all we got is a couple of Allen wrenches, or Allen set screws. And we can just take that out. There, simple as that. Oh, well, maybe we have to take the head off too. Okay, if I ever want to use this as a saw stand, I'll have to put it back the same way, unless I cut off this flange, but I think that's a safety device, so when you go to lift this up, don't accidentally pull this out and hit yourself in the face with this. Well, we'll have to think about that one. Okay, with this stand, I found this hole was a little bit too small for this electrical conduit. It's like they call 1 inch, and then 1 inch is inside diameter. Outside it's roughly 1 1/8 inch. So what I needed to do is remount this hole, enlarge it a bit. So I got a step drill, so you can drill this out, or use a die grinder. I've got a couple of different bits to put in there, and she was pretty easy to clean out. And if you don't have any of them, a file will do. It just takes a little longer. Here I've just made up a block, and now we're just going to fasten it together. I just used some 1/2 inch plywood. I glued this block, and it's just a little bit shy of the size of the pipe. Here we have the block. So now I'll make another piece to go over top of here, and that'll entrap the pipe, and I'll be able to slide up and down on it. But we're just going to have it on top as a pivot point. Okay, here I've got a standard bolt, and what I'm going to do to this standard bolt is I'm going to slice off the sides here. So here I've already cut one, so you can see what it looks like. So all I've done is took a hacksaw and I've cut the sides off, and now it's like a slot. And what I'll be doing is cutting a slot in the wood. I just use my X-Acto knife, put a line on either side and at the ends, and that's my outline, and I just chisel out the rest. Okay, here I've recessed the head of the bolt. Now she won't spin when you go to tighten it. And this one I thought, well, I'll do a different method just to show you there's different ways of doing stuff. Here I made up what I call a little wrench. It just goes on the head of the bolt, just like a wrench would. And then I drilled a hole in here and put a screw so the wrench wouldn't spin. This way, when you tighten the knob, you don't have any fear of that bolt spinning on the other side. And what I used, it's just a piece of aluminum that's 1/8 thick. Here we're going to be making our little wrench. I've set up here. We cut our strip of alumens 7/8 of an inch wide. Now I'm just going to drill a pilot hole. Okay, the size of the bit we're using is the size of the wrench you use on that bolt, and this will be 7/16. So now all we got to do is cut this part out, and we have our wrench. The rest of this we'll just file it up down to the line, and we'll get a good fit that way. And check the fit. You want a nice tight fit. There's no chance that this will spin now, because it's, as you can see, it's going to sit right in there. Now I'm just going to cut it off and drill a hole in here, and we're finished with our wrench. Here we're just gluing up the one side. We'll be fastening it only to the one side. Here we've completed our stand here. Now we have this port here, and this port, and this port. Put our camera in, or our movie camera. Now you can lower this one, or you can raise it, or you can do the same with this one here. Oh, I don't have my knob on there, but you get the idea. You got quite a range that you can work in. So here we got it out to the most critical point, weight wise, and she's still pretty sturdy. Now with our footprint only at 18 inches, it's a lot easier to get around it. You won't be tripping all over the legs. You just have to step over these. You're only a few inches tall, so it's a lot easier than the tripod. Okay, thanks for watching, and share my videos and give me a like. Thank you.